All right, we're here with Kevin Bowman, who is the owner of Bowman Brothers Cards and Collectibles. As you can see around you, anything and everything. I turned into a 5-year-old the moment I walked in here. He-Man being the first thing that grabbed my eyeball. This is my childhood on a shelf over here. So, for starters, congratulations for giving me all that nostalgia. Like, I'm a grumpy person, so it's nice to immediately feel that happy. But I guess before we get to the shop, how did you get into the collectibles? Like, where did you start with your passion?
Well, I just started collecting mainly, and then at some point you had to start making some money at it to feed itself. I was doing it part-time. I was working in Charleston, then we moved down here, and I started doing it full-time, but not as sharp. I would travel around different cities, different towns, 30 shows a year for several years. And then I stopped doing that when my daughter was born. And then I started doing more online business like Facebook Live. That's a huge part of our business. And just locally, people we know. And then once this place opened up, this spot on Virginia side, I said, well, that's got to be where it's got to go. And just things kind of fell into place.
So you've already been in the business of this for
I've been doing this for 12 years. Okay. Well, no, what is this, 20, about 13 years now.
So it kind of started out as a hobby.
It did originally, I was just kind of buying just to do something, and then.
What was your first passion? What was the first thing you really collected?
First thing I really collected?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Was it not just one thing? Like, what was like a span of things? Were you mostly toy centric, or like one thing you really
toys when I was a kid? Like I had a bunch of G.I. Joe, and Star Wars figures. Star Wars being from Cincinnati. Every store had like aisles of Star Wars.
That's
figures.
where it was based at. Kenner was there.
Time machine to go back and.
Because Kenner was headquarters
in
there.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all the Kenner stuff up there, the starting line figures and all that. But cards mainly because I played sports. It was mostly baseball, basketball, and then like when Michael Jordan became famous, really like late '80s, like Jordan. And basketball cards weren't really prevalent. So once Jordan hit, then everybody wanted basketball stuff. And like people my age, even people that are younger, like kids today know who Michael Jordan is. Yeah. There's like 2 people you can name from that era, and everybody knows who they are: Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson.
Yep.
Yes. Oh,
like even kids today, like, oh yeah, I watched that 30 for 30 on Bo Jackson, or like the docu-series they just did on ESPN with The Last Dance with Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
It's brought all that nostalgia back, and it's really helped the market again.
So when you're talking about cards, we were talking a little bit before we started the interview, just getting to know each other, and you were talking about how the card business, well, we all grew up with card shops in our town, and we'd see it a little bit more, but basically while it's not as visible, it's kind of just going on to the internet, I guess. It's like bigger than ever, though.
During the late 80s and early 90s, there was a resurgence, like a lot of mass production.
Yeah.
It's called the junk era.
So that's what I was buying.
like that 87 to like 93, 94, they made so much that the market got flooded with stuff. And there's not a lot of stuff from that time period that's worth a lot, even today. Okay. Now there's a little bit of a resurgence from people that are our age that are able to go back now and buy that stuff at a discount and build their collections. I've heard the story a million times. I got divorced. My wife took all my cards, and I said, well, good news, at least you can go buy all that stuff you had for a fraction of the cost from back in the day. They're like, oh, sweet.
Oh, right.
And there's all kinds of different stuff. Like when we were kids, it was just a pack of cards and a piece of bubble gum. Now you can get a Michael Jordan autograph out of a pack that's thousands of dollars. So that kind of stuff has driven the market crazy over the last 15, 20 years. That's kind of where it's gone since then.
It's the rarity of the items
rarity,
sometimes.
And just like if the player's really good, like it can spike. It's like kind of like the stock market with a tangible item.
Huh.
Yeah. Like you get let's say a LeBron James rookie card. Let's just say you got it. It just came out today.
Yeah. And
LeBron James goes and scores 50 points. Well, that card might be $100 instantly. It might be $1,000. And then the next game he might do 5 points, and then it goes back down to $60. So
how's LeBron's stock going today?
It's good. LeBron's stock is good. a lot of good stuff out there today. Pretty cool.
So Bowman Brothers.
It's just me. It's
just you? It's just a name. Okay.
It's the brand.
Okay. Tell us this. What's the one item that you like your goose, your golden goose, your golden egg that you've gotten by trade or buying that you've been able to make a good profit on?
A good profit, or the one that I still have?
Maybe the one you still have. Let's do that.
Let's see. Now there's stuff that I've bought and sold over the years that if I had it now, it'd be. There's one that's really expensive, but I don't like to talk about it. That's one that got away.
The one that got away.
That's the one that got away. Most of the people that know me know what it is because I talk about it frequently. I don't want to talk about it again.
That's fine.
We all have that.
But like, I don't know, just like even like a Michael Jordan rookie card in a high grade, or like a Pete Rose was my hero growing up.
Of course.
Pete Rose, Johnny Bench. So when I got my first Pete Rose rookie, my wife bought it for me for my birthday.
Wow.
Back, I want to say it was when I lived in Charleston, so it was like 2007. So, man, was I like 13 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that right? I turned 30. So when I turned 30, I got that card I always wanted.
Oh, man.
So now I've got a few more that I've stashed and put back over the years
of course.
since then. But that was my first one. The Pete Rose rookie was the one rookie
That's your big
I
one.
really wanted to have.
So, you were talking about cards a lot. Now, I also want to talk specifically about the toys, because it just seems to me, just watching on social media, talking to friends, that I see so many more people jumping into collecting toys and action figures and stuff now. So, like,
action figures have always been a hot thing. And when we grew up, there was really, obviously, you had some video games. Video games were kind of coming out.
Yeah.
Atari, Nintendo, Sega Genesis, that kind of. But when we were kids, it was action figures.
Oh, yeah.
You rode your bike, you played sports, and then you played with your G.I. Joes with your friends. You know, that was kind of the thing. And now people are, they got rid of their collections, or their mom sold them at a yard sale, or they just broke them and tossed them. And now they can go back and kind of buy the stuff they want. They can get it in package and pay a real premium on it, or they can buy it loose and play with and still have it and let their kids play with it. Yeah, I mean, we've all done it. I mean, I played with all my toys.
Oh, yeah, definitely did. Yeah,
I like to have them all back. It'd be like 40-year-old virgin all over again.
The one cool thing, too, about here, though, is you don't just sell stuff, but you also buy and trade stuff as well.
We got to buy it to have it. We're buying it, too.
But you'll do trade?
We do trade. We will trade if it's something we want or need. The one thing we don't do a lot of is NASCAR. That's just something I haven't gotten into over the years. I've had it before, and it's hard for me to move it. But toys, I've always moved toys and comics and cards pretty fast. And then autographed memorabilia, I've done that as well. So we've got some good stuff in here.
Now, mentioning the comics, and I'm loving this comic wall over here, but I'm curious as to my accuracy here. It feels to me like comics are the ones that you will find the most of, where people have no clue the value of what they have. I just feel like there's a lot of times I've been at someone's house and there's someone that had just, that's just a stack of such and such as comics. And I look and think, that might be worth a lot of money. Don't just toss that.
Sometimes that happens with cards too.
Oh.
Not so much toys, because toys are like, just kind of toys.
Yeah.
It's like, G.I. Joe. But like, you'll see some people have comics, and I've never run into anybody that said, hey, I've got all these old comics, give me $1. Most of the people that I've bought comics from know their comics.
Yeah.
And same thing with cards. Now, occasionally you'll get lucky and buy a box for $100 and turn it into $300, but most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the people know what they have, which is good. You want to educate people. People should know what they have. And we've helped people over the years do that too. They bring it in and say, what's this worth? And we're sitting there and show them like, well, this is good. This is trash. Donate this, because I'm not buying it. Just get your tax deduction for that. Keep this and sell it, or just keep it. And we help people like that too, which is good.
Well, let me ask you the obvious question. This day and time, the economic atmosphere we're in, and then the world we're in right now, what made you want to open a physical brick and mortar store?
Well, I wanted to open up sooner, but that's a good question. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to give it a try, and if it's a good thing, it's a good thing. It's something I've always wanted to do. So I figured you might as well go ahead and do it. If you got the opportunity to do it, because you might not get another opportunity. You got to take a chance sometimes to make it work. If you don't take chances, you're not going to get any reward.
Well, and I'm seeing more and more of these. I mean, there's been a retro toy store in Princeton. I know I've seen a lot of other cities that they're opening up, and they're doing well, because all of us kids have grown up, and now we have money of our own to play with, so we can buy the toys we want. But I feel like there's almost a push where, as we were talking about, some of it's gone online and underground, that we want these community centers back. People who love comic books, love cards, love stuff like that. I mean, when you talked about that card shop, that took me right back to Welch when I was 5, 6 years old, going to get some of the junk era cards that I collected.
Right. The card shop was a place for you to. It's kind of like a place to hang out.
Yeah.
It was always a place to hang out on a Saturday. Your mom took you for an hour.
Yep.
Gave you $5 back then. You thought you had $100. You know, you got 10 packs of cards and you went on your way and you were all happy. You know, and that just kind of went away when all that junk era hit.
Yeah.
Card shops started closing, and then there were fewer and fewer and fewer of them. But then with social media, the internet, eBay, all these things have helped a lot of people go out and sell this stuff and buy it, and just kind of get back into it. And I've actually seen a resurgence in card shops the last couple of years. People opening shops, not in this area per se, but like in other areas that I know, people that used to do shows like me, like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and open a shop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and open a shop. My buddies opened one up in South Charleston a couple years ago, and it's done well. Select Cards and Collectibles. So I said, well, I'm gonna do this. If I'm gonna do it, we're gonna do it now.
So Bowman Brothers Cards and Collectibles. How can people get in touch with you if they're interested in checking out what you got?
We have a Facebook page, just like the business. You can contact me by email, which I'll give that to you guys. I've got a shop phone now. I've got my cell phone, Facebook Messenger. I mean, it's pretty easy to get a hold of me. If I don't answer, just leave a message.
Okay.
Because you get all those spam calls nowadays. You got to be careful.
What are you looking at when you project to physically open your door?
I'm actually going to soft opening. I'm not really going to have a grand opening for the COVID-19 and social distancing stuff we got to worry about these days. You got to be careful. Do my part. But June 27th, I believe it's 2 Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be open then, and we'll probably be open. Still toying, definitely Wednesday through Saturday, toying with Tuesday in there too, but we'll see how that goes. We can always change that.
Well, before we let you go, one thing I'm just curious, since you opened this store and you say one of the goals is because you want stuff, you're looking for new stuff, is there, are there a few particular golden items you're on the look for right now?
I mean, everybody pretty much looks for the same stuff, like Jordan rookies, like old baseball, comic book collections, 70s and 80s action figures and play sets and stuff like that.
I just get the feeling with some of our listeners and some of our viewers that there might just be one or two out there that sitting there have been looking at a card, thinking about it forever. Like, do I really need this? Might be the time to turn it into something.
And it's, when I put the post on Facebook and I use the Facebook marketing to boost it, we got a lot of feedback on that post. When are you opening? What do you have? When you open, you got any of this, you got any of this, you got any of this.
Okay.
So I try to get them like, it's going to be a good response. I think it's kind of what this area needs is something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping to bring to the table, just to have fun with it. If you don't like what you do, you shouldn't be doing it.
Well, right? Hey, let me ask a geek question. Do you grade stuff? Like, do you grade cards or comics or anything?
I do send cards to grade. I have done that.
So you've got a connection, a pretty reliable one.
Yes.
Because that's when you can really draw big money, right?
And yes, big time. You can turn my buddy and I were talking today about just a card, like this card right here is $50, but you put it in a PSA 10 holder, it's $350. Just by the grade it gets.
So by actually just the fact that it is certified, like otherwise if you're just taking somebody at their word that it's
this you get this card graded.
Today.
They all have different grading numbers. Like one authentic being like something's been messed with on the card, all the way up to a 10, which is like a Gem Mint 10. It's like the highest grade you can get. Or a BGS Pristine 10. Those are the two highest grades out there. And that when you start looking, just go to eBay and type in PSA 10 highest price completed sales, and you'll educate yourself really fast. I'm like, wow, I had no clue. Wow, look at that.
Retirement fund kind of quality.
Even they grade comics. Now, I've never graded a comic myself. I bought them, but it's more expensive than grading a card because it's like a more meticulous process. Because you have to look at each page of the comic, the cover, the spine,
material there,
everything. And then toys will grade. They'll actually grade on-card action figures.
Huh.
It's called AFA, Grading Action Figure. I forget exactly what it's called. I've never had any of those, but I've seen them at shows, and they're expensive. Like you get an old vintage Star Wars 12-back Luke Skywalker graded to something. It's probably like $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy the value you can add to something when you grade it. But it costs money. It's not free.
But
You gotta
it's
buy
an
it
investment.
for
Yeah.
It's an investment.
Yeah, but that's
It's an
why.
investment. I say it's like you gotta play the game.
Yeah.
You gotta play the game if you want to win.
Ha ha ha! Starting lineup.
Yeah, but it looks like you're
Yeah.
playing several games. You have all
Lots of
everything you can
games.
need in here, so we can't
My
recommend.
wife is glad most of this is out of the house.
But other wives are getting angry because you're going to make a lot of men happy. And girls too.
A lot of people just happen to be men. I guess
all
only
these,
if,
There's collectors of every shade. And
that's exactly right.
I've seen a lot, and that was part of why I really wanted to reach out and talk to you and see this place.
Well,
for
I'm glad you
myself.
guys came out and talked to me.
My pleasure. Kevin Bowman from Bowman Brothers Cards and Collectibles. Everybody be sure to come down here. We are in the Westgate Plaza in Bluefield, Virginia. It's right there next to Tuesday Morning here in the very near future.
But don't forget, you can find them on Facebook too,
Yes,
so that's
Find
really
us
important.
on the face page.
On the face pages. And you can do the business online as well, but you really need to get in here and see it for yourself just as soon as you get the chance. Kevin Bowman, thank you for talking with
Thanks,
us.
man. Appreciate it.
No
Thanks,
problem.
guys, for coming out.